Episode 55 of What Does This Button Do? And yeah, it's an educational show from the Geeks on Tour. That's us. Hi, I'm Jim, and together here with my wife, Chris, we're Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you?
You know it.
Do you have questions about your Android phone or your iPad tablets? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
We are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this weekly show. Our website is geeksontour.com, and we have lots more stuff there, including a listing of all of these archived shows.
Well, Chris, where are we now, and where have we been?
We're at home base in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Good.
And we just, if we look extra relaxed, that's because we just had a week off and we went scuba diving, our favorite thing, in the Bahamas. Started off a little bit scary because there was that, what was its name?
Joaquin.
Joaquin hurricane.
They actually named one of our dive sites Joaquin Wall.
Yeah, because it was a new one. They hadn't been there before, so they named it after the hurricane. But the hurricane didn't affect us at all, except for making the water a little bit less clear than it should have.
The visibility wasn't as good as it should have been.
And we got to show you just a little bit of video.
Okay.
And because this video was made by Google Photos, which we think is so cool. It just took a couple seconds to throw this together, and it's a 1-minute video.
It has music, but we found that when we try and do music on these shows, it tends to echo, and that's really annoying.
And there was a lot of what we call swim-throughs, these tunnels and canyons, and I love doing that. It was a pretty small boat. There were only 16 passengers and 5 crew. And 3 to 4 dives every day.
Yeah, a couple of times they did have 5, but we wanted to relax. We didn't do all of that.
That's right. There we are, relaxing, just floating in the water.
And that's relaxing watching sharks.
Seeing beautiful sharks go by.
Isn't that wonderful?
Okay.
We love doing that. It's just too much fun. So on today's show, I think we have a good show for you this week. A quick tip about roaming setting on your phone. That came in handy this week. Our beginner's lesson is for everyone, managing your photos on mobile devices. And we're not going to tell you how to do everything, but we're going to show you how we do some of the things for managing your photos. And the app of the week will be the Hutu TripMate, which we use to gather all of our pictures this week. If you have questions, ask them here in the comments in the event page or on the YouTube page, wherever you happen to be watching the show. And the show is recorded on YouTube on our Geeks on Tour channel. And you can always find the links at geeksontour.com/weekly show. And we do invite you to become a member of Geeks on Tour. We are member supported. Right. So it's up to you guys to keep this show on the so we really appreciate it if you do. Quick tip, Chris.
So our quick tip is about roaming. First of all, how to get to the setting. There's for the Android, you go into settings, more networks, mobile networks, and global data roaming. In the Apple devices, you go to settings and cellular data roaming. You should make sure that it's off unless you have prearranged for a global data plan or your provider, like T-Mobile, offers roaming at no charge. So, for example, over on the right-hand side of your screen, you see a screenshot of the message on my phone as soon as I turned my phone back on when we landed in Nassau, Bahamas. It says your data features are inactive. You may not be able to place calls. Here's the number to call if you want to add global roaming to your plan. Now then at the bottom it says the account manager owner is needed to add features. Incoming calls text are active, and calls are $1.79 a minute, text 50 cents. But now I think I have a slide on the next. No, I didn't. I didn't paste it there. Okay. If you left your roaming on and you allowed it to use the cell, there were cell towers there.
Yeah.
Nassau had pretty good cell coverage. Every little island,
all, right?
Every little island had a cell tower on it, but they weren't Verizon towers. They were BTC,
yes,
Bahamas Telecom. But both Verizon and T-Mobile have roaming agreements with that. But it would have cost me on Verizon $25 per 100 megabytes.
Wow. And she can go through 100 megabytes in no time at all.
Just like that. So make sure to turn it off. And as travelers in this country, RVers, one place where that is important also is when you are parked near a border, either near the Canadian border or the Mexican border. Even without knowing it, the closest tower might be over in Canada, and you don't want to be roaming to that.
Unless you know it's included in your contract.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So that's our quick tip, data roaming.
And a good tip it is. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find the links on our website.
Any questions from the audience?
Well, let me take a look
so
over there.
Start with the photos.
Okay. Let's see. Bill says, I was going to research this. Maybe you already know. I don't want to take my laptop to Panama. Oh. Did we get that? Yeah, but I almost have to, so I can transfer my photos from my Sony CyberShot, which is a camera, to the laptop for photo storage and Google Photo Storage. And also upload to Flickr for an even more redundant photo storage method. Is there any way to transfer from my camera to, say, an iPad?
Yes, we are going to do that. The basic way, certainly, is with a laptop, and that's what we're going to show.
Okay.
Plugged in. We are going to show with a laptop, but then we have a couple of techniques, one to a tablet and one to a travel router, where you can back up camera cards to another device. So yes, that has been a search of ours for several years now, is how can you have a system without a laptop? We're going to show with a laptop, but we will also give you some ideas for how to have a system without a laptop traveling with you. Now, managing photos, backing up your photos generally is hardly an issue at all, right? Because if you follow our suggestion and use Google Photos, it's doing it automatically all the time. But if you happen to be traveling like we were on a sailboat in the middle of the ocean with no internet, then you need to have another plan. You need to have a plan in any case.
Yes, you absolutely do.
So your plan is to, number one, protect your photos from loss. If your phone or tablet or camera is lost or destroyed.
Or you drop it in the ocean on a dive trip.
I sure thought it every time I had my phone in my, because I didn't take my real camera this time. I took all the photos with my phone. It's just great. But as I was standing there, rocking back and forth with a phone in my hand, I thought, but so we had our system. You need to manually copy from your phone to a computer or a hard drive or a tablet. We say every day, because when you're on vacation anyway, you're taking dozens and dozens of pictures. I sure
hope you are, yeah.
Every day. So you need to copy them to someplace else every day. Then you also need to be aware of the space available to you on your phone if you're using your phone for pictures. And you will have to delete pictures off of there if you need the space, because you certainly, nothing worse than going to take that best picture and your phone comes up and says,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, can't do it. Your phone is full. And thirdly, how to view your pictures, especially if you took them with some little point and shoot camera. You want to be able to put them onto a tablet so that you can view them. So we don't care really how you do it. We're going to give you one method, but as long as your plan covers these things, covers protecting your photos from loss of the devices, freeing up space on the devices so you can take more photos, and the ability to view your photos, then you're good. So here on this, I'm going to have to break this slide down a little bit. The leftmost column here. So you're taking pictures and videos with a phone or a camera or a video camera. This is a GoPro. That's how Jim took all the underwater. So phone, camera, and video camera. Now you have to copy those pictures to some other device in case you should lose that phone camera or video camera. Normally, I copy them first to Google Photos in the cloud because that happens automatically, but that requires internet. So on this sailing trip, I copied every day to an external hard drive attached to a computer. So that's what we did every day. We copied to an external hard drive. And what we will tell you about at the end today in our app of the week is how you can attach that hard drive to a travel router, and we will show you the one that we got for this purpose. And then you don't need the computer. Or third possibility is you can copy the pictures to a tablet. Now that would require that the pictures be on an SD card and that you have some storage space available on the tablet. And we'll show you that too. But I say that you should only delete them from your original device if they are in two other places. So I normally let Google Photos upload automatically as soon as the pictures are taken. Then I copy the original photos to a hard drive. And third, I can now delete them from the phone. So for this trip, I just reversed that process.
Yeah.
I copied from the phone to a hard drive
First.
every day.
Right.
But I did not delete them from the phone until we had gotten back to civilization and Google Photos had grabbed its copy.
And it did automatically as soon as you got back to your Verizon
Yeah, no big deal. So
now
I can delete them. But I left some on there so that I can show you, so that we can do the demonstration.
Okay.
And I think that's next. So what I'm going to demonstrate is both using the Android and the iPad. I'm going to copy from the device, from the phone, to a hard drive attached to the computer. Then I'm going to show you how to delete photos and videos. I'm also going to import from a camera's SD card to the tablet. And I doubt that I'll have time about location services, but that was covered in episode 15. All right, so now I want to switch over to this. And all right. And get out my little cheat sheet. So I have pictures on this iPad that I took with the iPad.
It's a little crooked.
So as if this was my phone, my main picture taking. Let me just show you that. I can go to Photos.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Yeah, it's a little bright.
Yeah, see if you can drop that down. There, it looks better.
Okay, so I can go to Photos, and here are some photos that I took with the iPad during the week. Now, How am I going to copy them to a second location? Well, back to the first, you need the cable.
Okay.
So you need the cable that came with your iPad, and you plug the one end into the place where you do it for power, and then the other end is a USB.
Right.
So you plug the USB into the computer.
All right.
And if you would do that for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reach around there, I guess.
Okay. And then also attached to the computer is an external hard drive. We got this, we have a terabyte hard drive. So I'm not going to copy it to the hard drive in the computer, not to the C drive. I'm going to copy the pictures to an external hard drive. So that's just a lot more versatile that way. So this is our media drive.
Okay.
It's a Seagate.
All right. Now, a message has popped up on the iPad.
Right.
And what is that?
And that says, allow this device to access photos and videos. This device will be able to access photos and videos. So what's happened is the iPad notices that it's been plugged into something, and it's not going to let any transfer take place until I tap on allow. So that's the first thing you have to do. Then you do all the rest of it over on the computer. So we're switching over to the computer screen now. And usually something has popped up over here too. Now you can, I will show you very briefly Picasa. You can use Picasa to import it just as if you had plugged in a camera card. You click on import, and it should see Apple iPad as one of the things that is connected to the computer. The problem with doing this is the way that Picasa works. It has to read all the pictures on the device before it lets you select the ones that you want to import. So if you have hundreds or perhaps thousands of pictures on your device, this takes a while. So I'm not going to do it that way. But I could. I mean, I could go into here and tell it that I want to copy it to the Seagate. Just want to make sure that you do know that. If you use Picasa, that's a fine way to go. It's just going to take a while before it's ready. So without using Picasa, you just go to, and this is a Windows machine. A Windows machine, you just go to your File Explorer, and you should, and go to this PC, and we will see Apple iPad as one of the devices attached to the computer. You open it up, and it shows you internal storage. You open that up by double-clicking, and you cannot see everything that's on your iPad. It's a closed system. Every app controls the data that is within that app, except for pictures.
And videos.
Pictures, images. Okay, so digital camera images, DCIM. So I open up that folder. And now I don't understand what this 100, 101, 102 is, but I know my pictures are in here somewhere. I just go looking for them. And it looks like I got them right the first time. Those are my pictures, I think. Let me go to, I want to view the details so I can see the dates and get the most recent on top. Nope, those are older pictures. So instead of 102, let's go to 101, details, date. There we go. There's October 2015. Now I can see them in the big icons, and there are the pictures. So now it's up to you to know how to manage files and folders at this point. Your iPad or your iPhone is just being a disk, and you copy the pictures. I'm just going to copy from there. I click on the first one. I hold down the shift key and click on the last one I want to copy. And They have all turned kind of blue there.
They've highlighted. Yeah.
That means they've all selected. I right click and copy, or if I wanted to erase them off the iPad at this point in time, I could have cut instead of copied. And now I find in my Explorer the Seagate. And on the Seagate, I already have a folder just for my pictures, Chris. And I'm going to make a folder under there. I right click and new folder. I make a folder for Bahamas 2015. And now I right click and paste. Now, for those of you who fully understand files and folders and copying and pasting, this is a piece of cake. If what I've just shown you looks way too complicated,
it really isn't.
You need to learn files and folders. That is a basic thing that everybody using computers should know. And we do have some videos on it on ours or any community college, or highly recommended. All right, so that
computer clubs will help you.
Yes, computer clubs. Great idea, computer clubs. Okay, so now let's say that everything has been copied over and it's time to delete. Now, if you know that you shouldn't delete them yet, because how many, I say you need to have your pictures in 2 places. So how many places are they right now?
Right now, they're on the device itself, on the iPad, and they're on the hard drive because you just copied them.
Because I just copied them over. So that's 2 places. So you really shouldn't delete them from the device yet. You should wait until they are also uploaded to some kind of cloud storage. So then you have them locally and in the cloud. That's great.
Or another external hard drive, but we prefer the cloud.
Right. Just because it's easy and then they're viewable from everywhere. But so let's say, and mine are already in the cloud, so I feel fine about deleting them from here. The way you delete is go into your photos and yeah, it has to actually say photos down there at the bottom.
Yeah.
Hard to see, but that is photos. That says photos, that says shared, and that says album. So we're in photos. And I can select a photo and tap on the trash can up at the top.
That was our dive master, Tammy.
Yeah, she was so sweet. Okay, so trash can will delete that photo. But that's kind of, if you have a few hundred, that'll take you a while. So better to tap on the word select at the top. Now each group of pictures in your photos has a select option, and you have a trash can, and when you click on the trash can, tap on the trash can, everything that was selected will be deleted. But one last thing to know, if you're doing that in order to free up space, those pictures on an iDevice are not actually gone yet because there's an album called Recently Deleted. So I'm going to show you that. Over on albums, there's Recently Deleted. And they're all there.
So they're still taking up space on the device.
Yes. Yes, they are still taking up space on the device. I mean, this is kind of nice. If you mistakenly deleted them, you can get them back.
It's like the trash can in Windows.
Exactly. Yeah. Any picture I select from the recently deleted album, I can now either recover or delete it from there. That says recover in the lower right-hand corner. That says delete. And you can select a bunch of them, and up now it moves up to the top. It says recover or delete. Okay. And the last thing I want to show you on the iPad is completely different. This, I want to show you what if you brought your iPad along, not to take pictures, but just to view the pictures that you took on your camera. What you need is the camera connection kit for your iPad or iPhone. We have one. I'll show you what I mean. So you take the card out of your camera, and this is the camera connection kit. This side is a slot that will fit a full-size SD card. This side plugs in to a 30 pin. We got this with our old iPad. Therefore, we need another adapter.
The adapter queen.
The adapter for an adapter to turn the 30 pin into a lightning, and then put the card in there. And there's a nice little diagram to tell you which way to put the card in. And then, instead of a cable, we're just going to put this into the iPad. And sometimes it works right away. This time it did.
Wow.
Sometimes you have to wiggle it. It's probably better if you don't have to have an adapter on an adapter.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what happens. Once you get it plugged in, you now have a fourth little button down at the bottom that says import. So if I tap on import, it sees the pictures on the card that are in the adapter. And this was just a sample little set of pictures. I can import all. And it's that easy. Now the pictures that you took with your camera, and I'm not going to delete it from the card.
But you could.
Because I might need it, but I could, right. So that would clean it off, and pretty cool. Okay, so that is the iPhone iPad. And now we'll go to the Android.
Okay.
Any questions we should deal with, or?
Let's see. Love the pics and videos from the Bahamas. Yeah. Glad Joaquin didn't slow down your trip. So are we. We were a little bit. Oh, here's one.
Google Photos has changed my life.
So
Me
fun.
too.
Me too.
Me too. Absolutely.
Okay, here's a question. You write subtitle or date names for the photos? For example, sunrise, Bahamas diving?
Not at this stage of the game. You can, once you're using some other app, for example, Google Photos, you can write a description. Or once you bring them into your computer, you can write captions using Picasa, or you can change files names. But from just the transfer process, I don't know of a way to add those.
Yeah, it depends. But normally, no, we do not. But we just start to organize them. And they are organized by time, date.
Yeah.
So we're not too worried.
And actually, it's surprising. I mean, what both Google Photos and even just the iPhone and Android apps can automatically organize by place if you set the location. And if you don't know how to turn your location services on for photos, make sure to go review episode 15, because that's wonderful. And I think for travelers, it's wonderful that you know where your pictures were taken. Okay, so now we're on the Android, and I just want to show you the pictures I have there. I'm just going into my main gallery. We're not using Google Photos for this episode. And notice on my camera, there's a little image of an SD card. So this particular phone has I have a 32 gigabyte SD card in there. And I want all my pictures stored on there. So first, in case you have the same phone, this is a Samsung Galaxy S5, I want to show you how you tell your camera to store photos there. It's in the camera app, in settings, and then there is a setting for storage location.
Notice that she scrolled up there, or scrolled down, to find more options.
Yeah, there's more options than what first meet the eye, even though there's this black space down here. I don't quite understand why, but there's more. And there is storage location. You have the choice between storing it on the device or on the memory card. Memory card's going to have a lot more room.
Oh, yeah.
So I really like that option. So I have it on the memory card. Okay. So now I'm going to use the same technique as I did on the iPad, which is attaching cable. And this one is already plugged in. So the cable goes from the micro USB, where you plug in for power, and USB to the computer. And now we go to the computer. And same thing. I could use Picasa at this point, but because I think I have my pictures, a lot of them deleted from the phone. So let's see if I'm in Picasa now, and I'm choosing import, and it says, okay, I see the Samsung phone attached, and yeah, I don't have as many pictures. I only have 59 pictures on here.
So it doesn't take as long.
Right. But you know, for some reason, this isn't showing all of them. And I don't know why. So once again, I'm not going to use Picasa to import them. I'm going to go to my File Explorer, and under this PC, there's my Samsung. It's just like a drive. And see how full the device is? But the card has plenty of space available. That's where my pictures are. Double click.
That's a 32 gigabyte.
That's a 32 gigabyte card, yeah. And DCIM they'll always be found inside there somewhere. Digital camera images. And camera. And there are all my pictures, even more than just from the dive trip. So I'm just going to find the ones. I know the dive trip started with this one out the airplane window. It still has to read them all, but it doesn't take as long with File Explorer as it does with Picasa. So I click on the first one, and then same thing that I did when I demonstrated on the iPad. What do I do on the last one to get them all selected? I'm just going to let them think about that for a minute while I'm still getting them all in here.
Okay. Well, let's take a quick question here while we're at that. Fred asked, or says, an update was offered for Picasa last week, and I took advantage of it. Any idea what this is all about? We were on vacation, Fred. I'm beginning to really like Google Photos thanks to the geeks. Looks like current need for Picasa is diminishing. Huh.
Well, you still need Picasa to work with the pictures on your computer. And yeah, so I'm still hoping that Google continues to update. And yes, I got that update. I have not seen anything new on it. The last update notes that Google put out for Picasa are back from early September. So when I find out, I will put it in our Picasa Geeks website. All right, so I've clicked on the first picture, and I'm going to shift click on the last one, which is that one right there. And then right click and copy. And now what? I just need to navigate over to the hard drive, back to this PC, and the Seagate Drive F hard drive.
Now your drive letter probably will be something different. And you can assign specific drive letters for devices. We've not done that in this case.
And there's the folder I made earlier. And now I will right click and paste. And now I'm getting all the pictures from my Android phone onto, not onto the computer, onto this external hard drive. And that's important because we'll show you how you can possibly do that without the computer if you buy a travel router. All right, so that is cable. Now, how do you delete from the Android? So that's going to take a while, isn't it?
Yeah, there's videos in there. That's
yeah,
why it's
there's
taken
videos.
so long.
All right.
All
But
right.
that's all right.
Here's one. Richard, if you delete on Google, it is completely deleted on all devices. If you delete on the iPhone, it is only deleted on the iPhone?
Yes, and there are options.
Right.
I mean, you have that right, yes. If using, I'll go ahead and show that. So his question is, if he's looking at Google Photos, not the gallery is just a device app. Google Photos is a web app. If I tap on this picture and I tap on the trash can, I am deleting all instances of that photo, both online and on this device. If, however, I tap on the three-dot menu at the top, I have the option, okay, this one must not have been taken by this phone. If it's on the phone, you have the option, and it is backed up in the cloud.
Then you should have the option of just deleting it from the device.
Yes, I should have the option to delete from device.
Maybe
I think I already have.
Yeah, I think you have.
So, I mean, if you don't have that option, it means that that photo does not exist. It has already been deleted from the device. I am looking at the web copy of it, because I already went through this, deleting from the device. At least that's the only explanation I can come up with at the moment.
Oh, sure. She's making stuff up, folks.
Well, I just copied these, so I'm not sure about that, but that's where it is.
All right.
All right.
So we're still on that.
All right. So, yes, the best way, though, to delete from the device, to know that you're only deleting from the device, is to use the app that is just for the photos on your device. In this case, that would be Gallery. And there's Camera, and it says those photos are on there. I'm going to have to think about that. And you select a picture in here, and you can trash it. So I'll just select that one. That looks like it's something that was a mistake, and delete. Or if you don't want to do it one by one, then you have the three dots, and you can go into select mode, and now a little box opens up. You can tap on every one to select it and then delete, or if you tap on the empty box all the way up at the top, that is a select all, and then you can delete, and that will be deleting them all from the device. But if you don't already have that picture in two other places,
it's not backed up,
then you shouldn't delete it yet.
Okay.
You know, unless that's your decision. I mean, some people are saying, hey, just one backup to Google Photos is good enough for me. It's not that important. I will make an extra copy of my special photos somewhere, but I don't need a whole extra copy. I
think that's what I'm starting to tend to do, because I take so many pictures with my phones, and I'm now taking pictures with this Nexus phone and my iPhone, and it just gets overwhelming. And some of those, or a lot of those pictures, are just, I don't need to keep them for any reason. So
All
I'll
right.
just go in and delete them.
So it's a personal choice, just as long as you have made your plan that fits you. And last is, what if you have an Android tablet and you want to show pictures from a camera on it? Well, I have a big Android tablet here. Oops. And it has an SD card. So actually, an SD card slot. But how could I get a full-size SD card into here?
Well, there are adapters for some of these things, and we have adapters for almost everything.
We have every kind of adapter
We can't
possible.
always find them, but we know somewhere we do have adapters.
First thing, and we have a video on this, on a member video, and I will be making member videos that go into a lot more detail on each of these techniques. But and we have one already on what I'm showing you right now. Here is the micro SD card.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to be able to, so I can use that in the tablet, but I can't use that in the phone unless I have this little sleeve, this little adapter. That little adapter makes it able to go into the camera, and then I take out the tiny one, and that can go into the tablet. And then there is an app called My Files on the Samsung tablet that will copy from this card to the tablet. Or this is a cool little adapter. This is like a card reader that will go into a USB.
Has a standard USB on one side and a micro USB
or
on
the
other
micro
end.
USB, yeah.
And it'll take several different size.
It'll take this little card, or it will take a full-size card. And then it can plug in to the power port, or you call micro USB of an Android tablet, and it makes that a card reader for the Android tablet.
Wow.
All right, that's enough.
Oh yeah, there's plenty more.
That's enough.
And
There's
we'll do
lots more.
in future shows, so not to worry. We'll get it all done.
Okay.
All right, can we get rid of that and get back to the slideshow?
Yep.
Cool. Because we are going long.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, well. All right. So, that's not a slideshow.
How about that?
That's better. I like seeing that. Geeks on Tour. Like us on Facebook. Go to our facebook.com or yourfacebook.com and /Geeks on Tour. Search for us and like us on Facebook. The app of the week is the Hutu TripMate, and this came in really handy for us over this past week. It's a travel router device, and it has multiple functions. And we got this one because it has a battery, and a pretty powerful battery. It's a 10,500 milliamp hour battery built into it, so we can actually charge our phones up to 3 times, and it'll give you power for your tablet or your other devices. And it's a travel router, which means you can plug it into a Ethernet cable, say at a classroom or at a hotel or wherever you happen to be. If you have an Ethernet cable that's connected to a modem connected to the internet, you can plug it directly in there, and this will create a Wi-Fi hotspot in your local area, so you can connect multiple devices to it.
Okay, but we had no internet.
We had no internet,
so
we were using it for connecting an external hard drive to the Hutu device. Yeah, you can unplug that. That's just the battery.
Okay.
So right now it's acting as a
This is it.
That's it.
This is so cool.
And it has a couple of places to connect things, and you connect it to the external hard drive. That's a 1
So the
terabyte
same
hard drive.
external hard drive that we were using on the computer
Can plug into the USB port of the Hutu travel router.
And now this has a Wi-Fi hotspot name, and your phones or tablets can connect to this Wi-Fi hotspot. There's no internet here, but there is the Wi-Fi connection. Then you get the Hutu TripMate app, and it allows you to transfer pictures from your phone or tablet to this hard drive.
It was really pretty slick. So the way I did my videos from the GoPro camera, it comes on a micro USB card.
Like this.
Like that. And I would put that into a reader on my computer that I had, my little Surface Pro computer with me, and I copied that to that computer's hard drive. And then I would also copy them to the Hutu through the Wi-Fi, which was, again, not connected to the internet, just to a local device connected to an external hard drive. So now I had two hard drive backups of my raw video clips, and then I could clean them off of the card so I could start with a clean card for the next dive. Amazing what we do. All right, what do you got here?
There's just more information on the Hutu TripMate app. It's for Android and for Apple. And that's what we used all week. So all the pictures that I took on my Android phone, I was able to right away transfer them over to the hard drive connected to the Hutu without using a computer at all.
Yeah. Cool. Well, did you learn something? Or were you going to have more to say?
Are we overwhelming?
Yes, we are. Review questions, true or false? Google Photos won't protect your photos if you have no internet access.
Right. True. Do not think that just because you're using Google Photos that you can throw your phone in the ocean and you still have your photos. Not if you didn't have internet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, to copy photos from iPhone, iPad to a Windows computer, you cable it via USB, then use Picasa or what to import the photos?
You can just use the Windows Explorer, File Explorer, Manager. Files and folders. Now, if you're doing it onto a Mac, there is another, you will be using the image capture. Image capture is the name of the app that you use when you plug it into a Mac.
Yeah, but that comes up automatically, I think, right? Or you have to look
No, usually it's Photos or Dropbox or all sorts of stuff comes up automatically. If you just want to put it onto a drive, you want to use the image capture.
Okay. So if your phone has an SD card, you can store photos and videos there with a storage location setting found where?
In your camera app. Open your camera app and tap on settings there, and you should find storage location SD card.
Okay. When you delete pictures from your iPhone, iPad, they're not gone from your device until you do what?
Until you go to the album called Recently Deleted and delete them from there too.
Now, it doesn't work that way on the Android, right?
No. Android,
only on the Apple, iPhone, iPads.
They're gone, which is something nice about Google Photos. Google Photos does have a 60-day, I think, where you can get them back.
Right. Okay.
But not just your device.
If you don't want to bring your computer along on your travels, you can use a USB hard drive with a
travel router is what that's called. The one we got is a brand name of Hutu, Hootoo. And there is a link on the below where that takes you to Amazon to the exact model that we got.
Okay. Let's go. Let's get one more question in here. Patricia, I need to get an SD card for our S5 phone. I have all backed up to Dropbox, but now I need one more backup so I can delete from the phone.
Okay. Yeah, SD, you can just take the SD card out and put a new one in if that's the way you want to do it. You know, I think the best second backup is the cloud, the Google Photos.
Okay, Ron, why not just use your Samsung charging cable, as it has a USB connection to transfer files?
Well, that's what we did.
Yeah.
That is what we did.
whether it looked like it or not, that's what we did.
Yeah, it was that. This was the cable.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he's thinking it has the bigger cable. You know, the wider end. Yeah.
Well, that would transfer it maybe a little bit faster if you use the cable that actually came with it.
Right.
But yeah, you just plug that into the USB in the computer, and then you use the files and folders features of your computer to copy them.
Okay. Can you use a backup HD to also store photo backup? I guess that's what it says.
Well,
yeah,
this is a backup hard drive.
Right. And there are drives that say that they're specifically for backup. I have an iBackup something or other, but it's just another external hard drive. The thing about backup drives is they usually have some software included to make a backup more seamless when you're doing it from a computer or another device. I think that's really the only big difference.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, when we looked at the name of this said Seagate backup drive.
Right.
It's still just a hard drive.
Right. Okay, what's the web page that lists all of our weekly shows, Chris?
Geeksontour.com. The menu item is weekly show.
And the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters.
Geeksontour.com. The menu item is blogs and articles, and newsletters is under there.
Cool. And benefits? What do you get by joining
Geeks On Tour, which is $68 for a year? You get access to all of our prepared tutorial videos. You can ask questions, any questions you want, on our members Q&A forum, and you get the notes and links for all of these shows.
And we do invite you to become a member to get all of those benefits. Geeksontour.com. Next time.
We're not sure. We are going to be back in the RV next week, and we're not sure what our internet connection is going to be, but we plan to have a show.
We're not really on vacation. We're on our way to another rally.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's cool.
And I think our topic for next week is just going to be an open Q&A. So put your questions on this. You know, when we announce the show, there will be comments, and you can put your questions there.
All right.
And we'll just do an open Q&A.
And it was great seeing you all this week. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you sometime soon. See you later.